again, WeVideo, because this is a new video. WeVideo is cloud-based. Mr. Viss has a link available for you to use premium features. Okay. When I think about making a video, I see 4 elements, and I want you to write them down underneath each of the little smart art features. When you capture footage, I see you getting one of 3 things. Still pictures. Some of you are not writing. Pick up a pen or pencil. This is my prep that I'm helping you out on, so pay it forward. I'm trying to make you have a nice video. You're going to grab still pictures. Now let's talk about 2 options for still pictures. You can take them with your device. It can be with a device, camera, phone, your Chromebook, okay? Or maybe you're pulling pictures from the internet. Is that okay to do, Mr. Viss? Cite the source? Okay, and we'll talk about that later. So you're capturing still images, whether it's pulled from the internet and you're citing the source, or you're taking it with your device. A second option, video. You guys know you just switch to video mode, you grab that video footage. Or audio. You're going to talk into your phone with a voice memo, okay? But you know what? It can also just be hitting the record button and you're talking into it. Even though you're recording something, we can cover up that with a picture later. Let's go back to the video element a minute. I want you to add a note to that that says dead space on the front and the back end, or dead air as they call it. Because if I would start filming Callie right now, Callie, tell me about black ice, and she, excuse me, not black ice, dry ice, that's what I talked about here. Again, not a chemistry student. Okay, Callie, tell me, ready, go. She's already talking before this thing catches up to her. So, you know, if I hit record and I say, you know, 3, 2, then all of a sudden I've got some dead air that I can trim very easily instead of Callie being mid-sentence. And then I always like to have a little dead air or dead space at the end too, because you can easily trim that. And here's what the problem is. Let's say this weekend you're getting together with your group, okay, and you're going to film each other. Well, then maybe you go your separate ways and okay, I'll do the editing, but then you find out that all of your clips got cut off because you didn't have that dead space on either end. Well, do you feel like getting together again to work on a school project? Probably not. And so do it right the first time and maybe even do 2 takes is what I'd suggest. Any other questions about capturing footage? Another suggestion, I do wide angles instead of vertical angles. Consider doing wide angles. Consider getting creative shots. Lay on the floor. Bird's eye view, top down. I'm not trying to go all digital media on you, but that's my livelihood. You know, so don't just stand there all shaky. Consider grabbing a tripod or making your own homemade tripod. But again, bird's eye view, laying down from a worm's eye view, all gives it more depth and a better story. Again, what questions can I answer about capturing footage? Yeah, you know, iMovie would just be another version of like WeVideo's one. It's comparing like a Mac to a PC. Yep. iMovie works, absolutely. It's just that I'm going to show you the WeVideo platform today. But the cool part is it's transferable knowledge. What I show you here would probably transfer over to iMovie pretty easy. Yeah, an app on their phone or part of just the link will bring you right there that Mr. Viss shared. Okay, now here's the tricky part that this just doesn't want to be touched today. Here, here's a tricky part that students see a disconnect with. Okay, you've been running around grabbing all this footage, still images, audio, video. You got to get it from here to being usable. I would suggest if you don't have the Google Drive app on your phone, don't add it right now, but you need Google Drive right here. It's the fastest way to do it. Yeah, you could text yourself. Yeah, you could email yourself, but then you just got to grab it from there. The nice part about WeVideo, if you push it up to Google Drive, when you're on WeVideo on the computer, you can pull it right from Google Drive. So don't just look at this picture, like put it on your notes. Under Upload Photo, From your device, push it up to Google Drive. And then from Google Drive, when you get onto the computer, you'll pull right from there. When I go into Google Drive, I've got the app, and I don't expect you to be able to see it, but there's a little plus sign on Google Drive. And then it just asks, what do you want to add? And you, of course, would be adding audio, video, or still images. Finally, I'm going to get into the heart of WeVideo. And again, when Mr. Viss asked about iMovie, it's similar. It's a, if you can do one, you can do the other. Our school uses WeVideo, and I like it, and you have access now to a premium version. Here's what you need to know about WeVideo. This is your dashboard, and I can't write on here, which is driving me bonkers, but that's okay. Do you see these, what I'm going to call tracks down here? They're layered. The top layer is what would be in the front. So if it's a picture of me going like this, and I put, like a clip art in front of me, that clip art would show up in the top layer. I would be down a layer. So top down, it's like what you see front to back on your video clip, okay? The nice part about WeVideo is if you hover over anything, it's going to tell you what it means. I had wanted to write on here, so I'm actually going to go into WeVideo to show you that instead. Okay? Here we go. So when I go into WeVideo, I can log in. Mr. Viss provided a link for you, and I would get there that way. It's going to ask me how I want to log in via what Google account, okay? And let me just log out so you can see what that looks like. So I'd log in with Google. It's going to ask me which Google account. Of course, I want to go in with Jennifer Mars. And then I want to start. I'd go to my dashboard. And it's going to ask me, well, what do you want to do? Well, I've got some old videos here, but I want to create a new one. You should maybe be writing these steps down, because this is the kind of stuff that you might forget when you're at home. I want to create a new video. It's going to stop me and ask me, well, what kind of video? And here's the weird part. You'd think you'd choose video edit. You actually choose project. So you're going to create new, and then you're going to go into project. You can name it. So if I want to name it my chemistry video. Are you doing this as a group project, correct? Still do personal. It looks like you can collaborate with each other, kind of like a shared Google Doc or slide. That feature needs to be ramped up here. So you would still just choose a personal video, even though multiple people are working on it at the same time. And then I'd click next. It's going to stop me and ask, do you want to grab some media now? You can bypass that because we'll come back to that. And then it's like you've made your video. No, you've just set up your video. Again, if you missed any of those steps will be available via this recording that I'm doing right now. So we're to our dashboard. More than likely, your dashboard will not look like this. So I want to show you a troubleshooting thing that can make or break your WeVideo experience. When you get to what I'd call the dashboard, there's this little trio of lines. You might want to circle it on the screenshot that I provided for you. You can either be in storyboard mode or timeline mode, and they work dramatically different. Likely you're in storyboard mode by default, and it's not very user-friendly. So you'd go to the main menu, that little trio, and you'd switch it to timeline mode. You want to be in timeline mode. And if you think you're going to remember that, you won't. So I hope you wrote that down. This will give me a chance to tell you all the features. You can add media. Again, media is pictures, video, or even audio. You can add text, like an intro, credits at the end. It's a great way to say who was in your video, what role they played. You know, were you the actor? Were you the camera guy? It's a nice place, too, to say what sources you used. As Mr. Viss said, if you're going to use anything that's not your own, you need to give credit to that, whether it's a picture or whether it's your chemistry term that you're outlining. You can add music. We do, it's still the kind of canned music. It's not terrible, like here. You know, it's a little step up from elevator music if you ask me, okay? But it's there. And without the premium version, it's pretty terrible. There are some sound effects. I don't really know what they are, you know. I don't know if you can find any like explosions going on for chemistry or whatever. You can, yep. If you've got them saved, it would have to come through media. You'd upload and you're asking, again, still, video, or audio, which the sound would be your own as well. Yep. These are going to get a little advanced, but you can add transitions. I'd equate them to like when you're in PowerPoint and you do slide transitions. That's kind of how this is. You would just stick a transition in to get from media to media, just like you would from PowerPoint slide to PowerPoint slide. Again, if you want to play around with them, they're there. And then there's also what are called graphics. Now these are kind of cool. Graphics can be backgrounds or overlays. Like for example, if you want it snowing in your scene, it can snow. Or if you want, you know, bang, there it is. Okay? That would overlay though. So let's think about this a minute. If I'm here like, hello, chemistry, I'm doing my little video, but I want it to be like bang in front of me, where would bang go? Video 2 or video 1? If I'm dancing. 2, and then my dancing meme would be on layer 1. Does that make sense? Okay. But what if it's me dancing and then I've got this, you know, fiery background going? Then would it be switched? I would be dancing on video 2 and the background would be on video 1. And I'll show you that in just a minute. Okay? So you've got all of these things that you basically are going to grab and tell them where you're going to put them down there on that timeline. At any point, you can watch your preview. Please know your preview, the quality will be compromised. It's not going to be the best quality, but when we get to our last phase of how you finalize your video, then it will be compressed and it'll be a little bit more streamlined. So you ready to see this really work? I convinced one of my first hour students to be an actor. So Sari Kerwin is posing as a frustrated chemistry student turned into a scientist. So are we ready? Okay. So she finished up her first hour project. I pulled her out to the hallway and I videoed her. I pulled some stuff from the internet and I found the definition of dry ice off some article. Okay, so do I have a lot going on here? I do. Now I have to pull all of those things from wherever they are, Google Drive, my phone, the internet, and I need to get them into WeVideo. Which little button do you think I'm going to use to put them in? Take a guess. Is it media? It is, okay. So I made a chemistry folder, okay, and here's 3. I even got props from Mr. Viss, okay. So I've got it all ready to go in there because I didn't want to completely waste your time with all the uploading process. But if I back out now, let's see, my media. You can make folders by just doing a right click in that area. I have a lot. You're not going to have very much because you don't have any media in there yet. So if I go into the chemistry folder, I'm going to click this upload button or import. Now remember, if you don't remember what that button means, hover over it and it will tell you. Okay? So I'm going to import and I don't know. You probably don't have media, but just under media, you're looking for that upload cloud. Okay, you might want to just make a note to yourself there. So now it's saying, from where? From where? Remember what I did with my videos? I took them on my phone, and what medium did I use to get them to the cloud? Google Drive. So they're on Google Drive. Do you see a Google Drive icon on there? I do. So I could click Google Drive and just pull right from there. If I happen to have something saved, from the internet on my computer, and I didn't send it to Google Drive, then what would I click? Browse to select, and then I'd go find what I needed, okay? So here's my chemistry free to use clip art that I don't have a source for. Sorry, Mr. Viss. Okay, so then it's going to start uploading, okay? My digital media students will tell me it takes a long time to upload, doesn't it, Cam? Yep. But they're doing like 300 pictures at a time. Okay. So I've got it that way. Now I can also just talk directly to Google Drive. If you're not logged in, it might say, well, which account? Okay, and then, then I've got my stuff in there. So here's some of my stuff. Okay. Cool. What 2 ways? Let's just pretend I need Suri's video here. I already have it, but it'll come in again. So how are the 2 ways you're going to pull? From where or where? Google or browse from the file. Okay. Remember, it can be the still videos, or excuse me, still pictures, video, or audio. All right. Yeah. Yep, because fortunately, and that's why I like WeVideo, it can talk right to Google Drive. Some don't. That's why I like WeVideo, because it's got the Google Drive pull right from there. So this is a cordless event. You don't have to plug a cord in. You don't even have to email or download anything. It's just phone to Google Drive right straight to WeVideo. That's what I like about it. What probably should go first on the video? A background. That's a good one, Leandra. What else? What do you typically see on videos right when you start watching them? A title. Okay. So is title going to be under media? I got my media all there, ready to go. Where am I going to find a title? Text. I can't remember which one it is. How would I find that out? The letter A, but I could hover over it and it would say text. And they've actually just added some really dynamic ones, motion ones. So I'll grab, oh, this one's pretty bold. I'll grab this. Can you tell how long that clip is? 6 seconds, 6.14 seconds. Do you think you can lengthen that or shrink that time if you want to? Yes. So how do you think I'm going to get it from here to where I need it to be? Drag and drop. Bam. There it is. So it looks really funny right there, doesn't it? I can't tell what it looks like. I click on it and it starts to show up here. The reason I'm only seeing one color when I see yellow down here and I see blue up here, because it's motion. I actually have to hit play to see how it looks. Okay. How do you think I start editing that clip? Because this is not a very good title for my chemistry project. It's top text, main text, bottom text. That's not a very good title. What would I do? Cam, help them out. Ah, you're close. Yep, you can, yeah. Double click, yes, double click, okay. I have a clip selected because it's yellow. I know it's selected when it's yellow. I can double click it to open up the editing features. So, yeah. If I don't like these colors, can I change them? Can we bypass that step though? Like, can you kind of troubleshoot on your own there? Okay, I'll change up a color just so you can see how it looks. Now, whoa, where did my timeline go? What do I have to do to this clip before I can get back to my timeline? I'm done editing it. So now I will play it. It's going to be really glitchy on there. Suri the scientist, what did I forget to add or edit? Bottom text. So I did not do any of that whoosh, 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 whoosh. That just came with the motion clip. Now, it got really long all of a sudden. That's because my timeline is zoomed way in. I can zoom in and zoom out. That's not zooming in on the clip, it's just zooming in on the length. Right now it's showing like 1 second increments. This one is hard to see. So look on your little cheat sheet in the bottom right corner. You gotta scroll to find it. And I'm going to zoom in and zoom out. Now I'm not shortening my clip length. I'm just zooming in or zooming out on like the time. Cool. I'm going to add my next clip. Suri is, I'll let the story play out here. I'm going to just drag this down here. Okay. I am putting them in video too for now, just so I can show you how to switch that up later. Okay. And so I'm going to come back and play. You might want to watch up here. You might want to watch up here. Remember, I'm going to have about 6 seconds of woof, woof, motion text. You're going to hear Suri here in a minute. Okay, what would you say the problem is there? I'm going to just back her out. And by the way, using this little blue, oh, I don't even want to know what I'd call it, a blue little bar. I'm going to just come back here so you don't have to watch. Okay, let's just listen. Do you think it's kind of quiet? Okay. Now, do you remember how I edited my text? Do you think I could double click on my picture and do the same thing? Open up some editing features? Yeah. So I'm going to double click her picture. And then I've got a whole new set of editing options. And I see kids get kind of freaked out about this because it's like, oh, where did my video clips go? But remember, we've double clicked and we've gotten to just one. So then again, I don't have time to explain all of this to you, but of all of these buttons, which do you think would help me with my sound problem? The second one, the speaker. And so I could ramp up the audio level a little bit. And again, I'm not going to bore you with all of it again, but let me just back her up a bit. Okay. So in comes Suri the scientist. I'm going to drag her down here. Now, why do you think that one is so long? Is that a whole bunch of Suris? No. It's a longer video clip. So let's see what she has to say. Again, it's going to be glitchy on your computers. Okay, where did I get that information? From an article that later I'm going to give credit to. Okay, with a couple quick outfit changes, it's kind of creative. Okay, so this proves you can do this at home. Convince your little brother or sister to film you and you're good to go, or your group, however this is going to work. Now, Mr. Upoff brings up a good point. I put this on the video 2 layer. Well, what if I want to take this clip of, like, you know, beakers and whatnot and have it in front of Suri? Do I have room to do that right now, given where I laid my clips? I don't. But watch this. I can just drag Suri the scientist down here, and then I can lay the little beakers right on top of her. That wouldn't have worked the other way. Because if I would have brought the beakers down here, why can't I see them? I see they're on my little storyboard. Why can't I see them, though? Suri's video is in the way. Now, I pulled those from the internet. Mr. Viss would like you to credit anytime you have work that's not your own, and a really easy way to do that's in the credits. Now, it's kind of awkwardly placed over Suri. Would you agree? It's just kind of sitting there floating. How would I edit that clip? Double click. Very good. So then I can just grab it and move it around. Okay. I can also pull it to make it bigger. Done editing. Are there more editing options? There absolutely are, but we are running out of time. Now, Suri is going to tell you, and I'll let the clip play out. Do you hear that in the background? Sound can make or break a video very quickly. Why is there the extra sound? It was just that hallway noise. So sound and lighting are important. Think about that element of your video. It makes it from good to great. Okay. She goes on to talk about where dry ice can be used. So it's used for smoke machines and lab experiments. Well, you know what? Why wouldn't I bring in a smoking jack-o'-lantern to illustrate that and my lab experiment picture? Now, what's the new challenge here? I have two challenges. What's one of them, Leandra? They're covering up Suri. Okay, and they need to be made smaller. I also need to put the pumpkin on there when I'm talking about a fog machine, and I need to put the bubbling beaker when I'm talking about the science experiment. So that becomes kind of a little play on where does this fit. So I have to find out when she's talking about fog machines. Okay, so at 33 seconds, I actually placed it pretty good. Now, what am I doing? Do I want to play that clip for 5 seconds? No, I want to shorten it. Just kind of like you crop a picture. You know, you click the crop button and then you crop it. You can trim any element here, sound, video, or pictures, by clicking on it. And you know it's ready to go when it's illuminated in yellow, and you're going to just cinch it up. Again, I'm going to just kick my little blue bar over to see how I did with timing. Did it come on when she was saying smoke machines? Okay, now I'm going to just inch this one closer. Do you think I should make that one a little smaller in length? So I'm going to trim that. I'm going to kick the blue bar over, see how I do. Okay, my new problem is what Leander brought up. I can't see Suri the scientist anymore. How do I edit this picture? Double click. At that point, I can make it smaller. You know, like when you're watching the news and they put a little picture in the corner? That could even be a video. That could be another video while Suri is talking. Okay? Or I could completely cover her up, and then now it becomes a voiceover. What do you guys think you like better, the like news approach or the voiceover? Okay, let's do a little bit of both. Okay, and then here, I'm going to double click. I'll just do both. I wouldn't suggest doing both. I'd do one or the other. But then I'll put that up here instead so you guys can see both. Kick it over. Okay, cool. Now we're not getting even into fading in and out. We're not getting into the transitions. We're running out of time for that. But you guys are pretty quick to learn, and if you want to make your video good, you'll look at tutorials and different stuff. Okay, what should I put at the end? Now you guys have 5 chemistry terms to do. I did the whole, oh, I'm studying for my chemistry test. I don't, just to give it more of a theatrical story. I know Mr. Viss would appreciate a creative spin on this. But you know, you'd go into your next chemistry term and then your next chemistry term, okay? I'm going to stop here. What probably would be a good thing to end with at the end of my video? Credits. Where do you think I'll find credits? They're not in media. Text. I think I'll go to just, there we go. End credits. So I'm going to just drag them. Does it really matter which video layer I go to? It really doesn't. Now I need to edit this. How will I open up the editing features? Double click. Now, here's my article. Do I need to give credit to Anne-Marie Helmenstein, PhD? Yeah. Mr. Viss, how do you want them to give credit to any websites? Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm going to just grab this URL, and I'm going to just Control-C to copy. If I come back to WeVideo, I'm going to double click. Of course, it was directed by Jenny Mars. If I don't want produced by, I don't need that. Okay. The worried chemistry student was, of course, Suri. And then expert was Suri the scientist. Oh. And maybe what I should do, hang on here. Oh, I missed the, I'm just going to put the word URL there, you get the idea. So then I clicked on editing and it would actually just play like text. I'd say the one thing that I want to show you here that you could add is music. You got to be really careful about music, especially when you've got, now if it's all still pictures, not a big deal. But if I add my premium, cheerful, happy Monday music, I'm going to put that down on my audio track. What's hard about that, it's loud, okay? And then when I get to the scene like here when Suri's talking, the music's way too loud. So I'm going to just double click that. Actually, I'd have to come onto this little bar, or I could just kick my audio level way down. And if I start it again, you just don't want your music to overpower your voices. Music still too loud? It really is. I'm going to show you one advanced feature. What about when Suri starts talking, I dim the music? Would that make sense? So crank up the music volume while the, hello, here's my science project. But then, do you see where my scene changes from my text to Suri's video? Right there. There's a tiny little scissor. This is advanced, but it makes it from good to great. I am going to actually trim my music scene. Oh, it didn't work. Cut. There we go. So now do you see how there's actually two music chunks? The song keeps going, but it's just like I took a scissor and cut it. So now on this second one, I'm going to crank the audio way up on my first one. And on my second little where I cut, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to bring that audio level way down. Way down. So now let's see if it's better. There's a little there, and you can remedy that by fading it in and out. Again, I'm getting a little bit advanced here, but some of you are advanced and maybe would like that. My digital media students know that fade in and out is very important to me. Very, very important to me. The last step of all of this, and we are really down to just minutes left, the last step after we've got our footage, we've uploaded it, we've edited our video, the last step is to finalize the video. To get it ready for Mr. Viss. Because right now, Mr. Viss doesn't want to go watch an edited video. He wants the final URL. It's actually really easy to do. Back on WeVideo, there's a button that literally is called Finish. Again, it's going to be whatever you would call it. You're going to have a couple options here on what your thumbnail is going to be. Kind of like when you upload to YouTube, it's going to ask you what kind of quality do you want. I would start, I just hit Finish. Right now I'm waiting in a queue, and then it will start to do what's called a render. For every 1 minute of video, it usually takes about an hour to render. Okay. If you're doing it at home, you can just let it sit there and just make sure your little brothers and sisters don't mess with it. Okay. And it's not even rendering. I'm like in a queue waiting to be rendered. But once it's close to being done, Cam, you can maybe confirm this with me. When does the URL pop up? Does the whole, oh, here, that I answered my own question. So now it's starting to render. And this video link is probably what Mr. Viss will want. Would you agree, Mr. Viss? And he doesn't even need WeVideo to look at that. It's not on YouTube unless you would then click this link, download it, and then turn around and upload it to YouTube. I don't know if that's what you want. I doubt it. No. Yep. That's the only way I accept them for my digital media students. I only take a link. I don't want to partially finished anything. Okay. This link is only within WeVideo. It's not YouTube. But if you know how to upload to YouTube, great. I hope this helped. This recording will be available to you. But remember, you guys got the drive-through version. I teach this for 4 to 5 weeks with my students, and we do a video, and then we add a few more skills, and then we add a few more skills. This was the fast version, wasn't it, Cam? Yeah. Mr. Alfoff, do you have a question? Have we had trouble with that in digital media? It's accessible on the Chromebooks. Chromebooks for sure. If there's a data issue or an internet issue, where you slow down is, and I can't touch it, but the uploading step becomes just so long. Yeah. Any other questions that I can answer? What are you still wondering? Again, if you find yourself like, oh, this is a lot of work, well, you know what? Reading and note-taking and learning chemistry that way is a lot of work. So again, I applaud Mr. Viss for thinking outside of the box and giving you a little bit more of a rich, meaningful experience. I'm glad to help. For the most part, you guys were respectful. I appreciate that during my prep. But this will be available for you as a resource. But remember, tutorials, there's oodles of them online.